My name's Mike Obara, and I'm running Run Rabbit Run 100 miler. Sure. My name is Michael Obara. I'm a born and bred Rhode Islander. I've been out here on the East Coast my entire life. My background, I was athletic when I was younger. I played soccer coming up through high school, though I was a goalkeeper, so there was no running in my life. And then I was able to walk on to a Division One soccer team as a backup goalkeeper. So I spent my 4 years in college playing on the soccer team. My junior year through the soccer season, I ended up losing about 15, 20 pounds. And it was a little concerning. Talked to a nurse friend I knew, and she said, "Oh, it's just go down to the university's health services. They'll do a quick fasting blood glucose test, which is just you don't eat after you wake up in the morning and they measure your sugar." And she said, "I'm sure it's fine." So I went and did the test, and junior year undergrad, I found out that I was a type 1 diabetic. It was when I hit my 38th birthday, I thought it would be pretty cool to get back into some athletics just for health. I have two kids. At the time, there were two young kids, so I asked my wife if she would find a heart rate monitor for me. I'm an engineer. I like numbers, undergrad, grad school, electrical engineer, and I thought it would be really neat to get these metrics, track them, and see what happens when I start running. So I got my heart rate monitor, and then I needed some way to use it. So I found an app on my cell phone that would work with it. It was an app called Endomondo, which is long gone, and I thought that was pretty cool. Got some numbers, saw what happened when I ran and then had to decide, well, what am I really doing with this? And I saw the app had training plans for different race distances. So just to give myself some structure, because I love structure, I started working toward a 10K. And it was so long ago. I believe I eventually did that 10K. And then I started thinking about a marathon. I was thinking, this is a good bucket list goal. I said, you know what? I am going to set myself a goal of doing a marathon, running an entire marathon without walking a step, and see if I can pull that off. So I trained, finally signed up in October 2016 for a local marathon. Um, I made it to mile 17. I was not feeling that well, and I have it all on tape as I approached my wife and family. As my wife was recording, I can clearly be heard exclaiming how much this hurts and I'm not going to make it. So, needless to say, that one did not get posted to Facebook. And just a little bit after that, I ended up walking, and that was not enough for my check it off the bucket list. So what I'll first say is that in my 1,000 milers, I've had crew for two of them. It was the one I just mentioned, Eastern States 100, and then the next race I did, the Mid-State Massive 100. Aside from that, I have not used crew. Uh, on the Mid-State Massive 100, I had a pacer for the last half. Shout out to Justin Hetherington. But aside from that, I have never had a pacer or crew in any of my races. In general, I really don't share it. Like I said, there are a few cases. One recent one, I was running the Old Dominion 100. That was earlier this year, and they still have medical staff weighing you at the beginning before the race, and then at a couple of different points during the race. So, I am proud of the fact that I can do all of this as a type 1 diabetic. So if I see someone like an MD who is checking people during the race, I just feel that I need to share it. So I had a nice conversation, just said, "Hey, I bet you don't see too many type 1 diabetics out here." And I just watched her eyes get large. And that gave me a great little boost, made me feel really good. All right, so great question. Why did Run Rabbit Run end up on my agenda? Honestly, the real reason that I signed up for it, it was New Year's Eve last year, and I saw that the registration price was jumping by $100 on January 1st. And that was enough for me to pull the trigger. Another friend of mine was considering it. He decided against it, but it was the combination of the early discounted rate, the fact that former coach of mine knows this race well. I had heard about it. I had heard that pros will be there, which I think is pretty fantastic. I've never been in the vicinity of professional trail runners, and I wanted to get out to Colorado. Honestly, the running I do, it's a personal thing. I do this to show myself what I'm capable of, what I can accomplish. Um, like I said, I don't really share all that often that I'm diabetic when I'm out on the trails. I have a real hard time when I finish races. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the heavy breathing, but the back of my throat feels like it's been scraped over by a metal file. And I don't want to eat anything. I think if somebody handed me a McDonald's milkshake, that would go down pretty well. But I just have a really hard time eating anything. At my last race, I finished the race at just after midnight and I walked back to the tent where the home base, and there was a group cooking up hamburgers. And I told myself, I know I've got to eat something. I know I need some protein. I know I need some carbs. And I forced myself with a lot of water to eat a burger, but I just have a real hard time eating after I'm done with one of these. Nope. So I will do podcasts sometimes,
Okay.
and it's really just to fill the time. So it's the same way every time. I get my Shocks headphones on, turned off, start the race, and then after I'm alone for some period of time, I'll just turn it on, and then anytime I see somebody approaching or see someone that I'm catching up to, I'll always turn them off, say hello, keep going, and then I'll forget to turn them back on for half hour or so, and then they'll go back on. So it's a podcast thing, uh, part of the time.